those who are curious about my hair routine and my fashion tips, this is pretty much it. No, this is a cool, like, filmy look, like.
You have to fix the mind before you can bestow the blessing, because until they get their mind right, everything you invest in them is going to leak out of the crevices of the mind.
I need to stop this. Finding a proper place to put my camera is so hard. Okay, I added the mic, so it should be working properly. I've actually got quite the ghetto setup going on here, but it should work. It's been a while since I used ya.
Update.
And we're rolling. Welcome guys back to the Q&A. So, today is a very exciting day because I get to talk about myself for the next hour. I'm just kidding. I'm not that egotistical, I promise. But I'm just really excited. So I just want to thank you guys for submitting all of your questions. I have so many questions that it's kind of overwhelming. Side note, I won't be answering every single question like I usually do in my past Q&As because yeah. So I'm gonna get started by the questions submitted by those who support me on Patreon. If you're interested in becoming my fellow patron, I have some really cool rewards like behind the scenes actions. The link is below, but for now, let's go ahead and get right into this because I ain't got no time to waste. I've got plenty of time to waste, and this is not a waste. This is actually yeah, thank you guys. This is awesome. So the first couple of questions are actually from one of my supporters, Maya. She asks, who is somebody you really want to collaborate with? So I guess she means like a YouTuber. It's actually funny because this isn't really a filmmaker, but there is this guy called Plantriotic, aka Jackson Foster. He is one of my biggest inspirations on YouTube, and again, he's not a filmmaker or anything, but his life is so interesting. So Jackson, if you ever see this, 80s question alert! What is your favorite 80s song? If not, what is your top 10? This is a really hard question because I just have so many favorite 80s songs. I mean, my whole life I've been so influenced by this wonderful era. So I mean, one song that definitely is just brings me back is Little Lies by Fleetwood Mac. I also love Lay Your Hands on Me by the Thompson Twins, and Hold Me Now, that's another good one by them. And I don't know if this is from the 80s, but Vienna Calling from Falco was one of my childhood jams. But again, I may be mistaken. This could be a 70s song. I'm not exactly sure, but I think it's an 80s. Favorite 80s, 90s, and 2000s movies? Girl, I like these questions. Okay, my favorite 80s movies, again, I have so many, but one of them is definitely Less Than Zero. That movie is a masterpiece. And obviously, the mafioso movies like Scarface, I mean, those are obviously almost everybody's favorite, but Less Than Zero, it's just a movie I can watch over and over and never get bored. 90s, I'm not a huge 90s know-it-all, which is kind of sad because I was born in this generation. Honestly, like, I know that I know many more movies from the 90s, but the only one that comes to mind that is yet another movie that I can just rewatch is a movie called Leon. That movie is a masterpiece. Shout out to Jeroen who introduced me to that movie. It's seriously amazing. Like, Natalie Portman's character is just mind-blowing. If you like mafioso movies and you like Natalie Portman, please check out this movie. You will not be disappointed. It is a masterpiece. And then 2000s movies, obviously this is even harder because I grew up in this generation. There's so many movies that come to mind, so I love this movie called Take Me Home Tonight. It's kind of like a movie based in the 80s, and if you like 80s and you like Topher Grace, Anna Faris, and all those awesome people that were really big back in like the early 2000s, you're definitely gonna like this movie, which is, I don't know why, it's so underrated. Like, more people need to watch it. It's such a great movie. And then besides that, there's so many more, but that's just like my top favorite one. Alrighty, next question. Shout out to James87 for his awesome questions. He asks, you had a pretty wild several months, the hurricane, stay in Miami for a while, then back to PR, Puerto Rico. With all the issues that still remain, how have you handled it all? This is a great question. Thank you for asking, James. For those of you who don't know, I went through Hurricane Maria. I even documented it. If you haven't checked it out, I will put the little note thingy so you can check it out. It was not an easy experience, I'm not gonna lie, but how have I handled it all? This experience has really taught me how to embrace positivity and just learn how to handle obstacles a much better way, which is why I implement the whole yin-yang thing, which is super hippie of me, but just the whole idea of a balance between the light and the dark has actually been very influential in my life, and I've really learned to embrace my obstacles and learn from them and just learn to love them, and that has just changed my life. Whatever it is you go through, if you learn how to embrace obstacles, I promise you it's gonna be so different instead of enabling obstacles to ruin and take over your life. Whew, it's getting personal up in here. He also asked, if somebody gave you a blank check to make a short film about anything you wanted, what would it be? Oh my gosh, the things I would do with that check. I've actually written a lot of, not screenplays, because it's just been like, I get these ideas in my head and I write them down for like movie ideas and stuff and stories. So obviously if I would get a check for X amount of money, I would obviously use it to embrace on one of my ideas. Yeah. If you could be any cartoon character, what would it be? I actually always wanted to be Dash from The Incredibles. When I was a kid, I would run from corner to corner during recess because I wanted to get as fast as I possibly could so I could be just like Dash. And moral of the story, it never worked. But I still have my hopes. Someday. Barry asks, if I got to spend the whole day with you from sunrise to nighttime, what would you plan for the whole day? This is a really hard one because I'm not like an extremely fun person to like activity wise. Most people that hang out with me, they say they like to hang out with me more because of like my personality rather than like how I plan things and, you know, how I get people involved, because I'm not a very activity driven person. I'm the kind of person who's driven by other people in terms of activities rather than being the leader. So honestly, I would just ask you, like, what do you want to do? And I'll just make it happen, obviously within reason. And finally, the last supporter question is from my very good friend Andrew. Shout out to you. He asked, do you think you've edited in every single coffee shop in San Juan? Probably. And if not, how frequently do you edit at coffee shops? Well, when it comes to my creative and very hardcore complex edits, I cannot edit at home. I cannot edit in a very quiet and isolated place. I need to go to like the loudest coffee shop that is packed with people, because I concentrate extremely well around noise and just crowds. I don't know why. The same goes for studying. I cannot concentrate, like silence makes me nervous. That's why I hate libraries. I can't stand them. I get so nervous and I panic. What film are you most proud of to date? Actually, the film that I'm most proud of to date hasn't even come out on YouTube. I'm currently working on it. It's a film that I made in New York City. And I would say the title, but it's such a cool title that I don't want to risk somebody taking it from me. But yes, it's about New York City, and I've been working on it since early December, so I'm really excited about it. And yeah, that's pretty much all I want to tell for now. But I guess in terms of like the movies I've already uploaded, I'm really proud of my Hurricane Maria documentary, even though that's not particularly a film that I focused on making perfectly. Like, that's a film I just edited in like a month just to get my story out there. I did not put too much emphasis into like it being perfectly well made, and it's just one of my favorites. It's just it's I can't. It's amazing. I'm so proud of it. And it's actually going to be featured on TV, but more on that soon. What do you think separates you from other artists in your field? Well, I honestly think that's a question I should ask you guys. Comment below, what do you think separates me from all the other filmmakers on YouTube? I'm really curious in knowing what you have to say. And then finally, where do you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years? Dude, I don't even know where I see myself next year. Like, that's honestly where I'm at life right now. After the whole Hurricane Maria thing, I've just honestly stopped worrying so much about the future and rather just living to learn, learning to live in the moment, in the present. Obviously, I'm not referring to the whole live wild and free thing. No, I mean like really just learning to appreciate your present moment instead of being so worried about where you're gonna be in 5 years, because the truth is you might not even be alive in 5 years. I mean, I hope that's not the case, but it's the truth. Just live now. Alrighty, so those are all the questions from my supporters. Thank you guys. So now I'm gonna move on to the viewer questions. Let's go. And the first question is brought to you by AC Jester. He or she asks, do you totally scrapped the definition of video games from your channel/videos? It seems like you've never gamed before.
Why is that?
Yeah, I knew I was gonna get this question, and I did say I wasn't gonna answer many game-related questions, but this is a really interesting question that I actually kind of want to answer. For those of you who are new to my channel and have no idea about my past, I used to be a gamer on YouTube for many years actually, but recently in the last 2 years I decided that I didn't really want to do gaming anymore. It just wasn't really my passion. It was just kind of something I grew up doing and I just had fun while I was like in my early teens and stuff. My real passion is art and filmmaking. And yeah, that's what I'm doing now. He is basically asking like, why does it seem like I never did gaming before? So why has my channel completely changed its surface? It does not look like a gaming channel anymore. And that is because I am trying to build myself as a personal brand. I want this to be my career someday. And in order to do that, I can't just half-ass it. I really just want to go all the way. And it's not like I'm ashamed of my past. I am not. I'm really appreciative of where I was versus where I am right now. But I don't want to stay in the past. I want to move on, and in order to do that, I really need to revamp my channel and just update it to fit where I am at now in life. And I think that how my channel looks right now is actually probably the best it's ever looked, in my opinion. It just feels so right where I'm at, and I couldn't be more proud. So yeah, the reason why it doesn't look like a gaming channel is because I'm not trying to be a gamer anymore. I'm trying to be an artist and a filmmaker and a content creator on the internet. Therefore, that is the message that I want to send out when people see my channel for the first time. So I hope that answered your question. And he also asks, how does it feel to live in Puerto Rico? Honestly, it feels the same as living anywhere else in the world. Lauren M2K asks, oh, long-time viewer too, how have you been over the course of the last few years? My life has been a constant evolution, I must admit, but I mean, on the surface of it all, I've been okay, I guess. You could say I've been good. I can't say I've been perfect, because there's no such thing. And this is a really interesting question. He asks, are you still in touch with Jeroen, aka DutchBondFan, and James, aka Jammy-Tone? For those of you who don't know, we used to be like the little gaming clan back in the day. We made a couple of collabs together, but only one of them made it to YouTube, and we were just kind of known to be like the gaming Grand Theft Auto trio, but Jeroen moved on to making movie and James Bond videos, and James still does videos sporadically. Am I still in touch with them? I actually am in touch with Jeroen. We speak occasionally, not all the time, but when we do speak, we kind of go on like talking rampages. But yeah, we're still in touch. And as for James, we were really never like insanely close. We were more like mutual friends through Jeroen. So unfortunately, I have not really talked to James in quite literally a couple of years. But I hope he's doing great, and I wish nothing but the best for him. Will we be doing videos together? I don't know, man. Honestly, at this point, it's really hard to tell because we're all in like completely different places right now. Dr. Zink asks, ever considered making a Patreon? And congrats on 15K. Been watching since 1K, man. That's awesome. Thank you for staying this whole time. I chose to answer this question because I thought it would be a great way to plug in my Patreon, which is My Name is Lau. If you are not aware, I do have a Patreon. I've had one since like 2015. But yeah, I have a couple supporters there. I'm trying to grow it right now, so if you're interested in like behind the scene content and just vlogs a little more in-depth into my life rather than just what you see on my YouTube channel, then definitely check out my Patreon at My Name is Lau on Patreon. Hey Lau, which Star Wars movies are your most favorites, and also which lightsaber duels of the trilogy do you watch the most? Well, I mean, I like all the Star Wars movies. I like the classic ones, obviously, but I can't deny that I do like the sequels simply because I grew up watching them. So there's that childhood factor that I can't do anything about it. You know, whatever it is you grow up with is something you're gonna like, whether it's socially accepted or not. And in the case of the Star Wars sequels, they're not very accepted, unfortunately. And which lightsaber duels of the trilogy do you like? There isn't really a specific one. Actually, I don't really care for most of them. But there is this video on YouTube that I used to watch back in like 2006 about these two dudes who like dueled with fake FX lightsabers, and I used to watch this video over and over and over. In fact, I even made my own lightsaber video. I'm gonna see if I can find that. So yeah, I was pretty obsessed with lightsabers. Michelle Hernandez asks, what is your biggest wish? Used to be successful, but now it's just, my biggest wish is just to find that balance, I guess, to find that stability in my life. That sounds a little bit dramatic, but yeah. What is your favorite cartoon? Beavis and Butthead.
When I'm 80 years old and I'm teaching my kids how to make pizza and they ask me, oh, where'd you make pizza? Bitch, I made it in Florence. That's where I made pizza.
So she's gonna call her grandkids bitch?
You're the best grandma ever, Grandma JWoww.
Yeah, please don't hit us again.
Grandma JWoww, where did you get syphilis?
Yeah, tell us that story, bitch.
Do you prioritize marriage? No offense to those who do. Do you have a hidden talent? I think a better question would be, do I not have a hidden talent? Because
Classified M.
think that's the most egotistical answer I've ever given. Like, ever. But it's, I mean, what can I do? And finally, do you believe in destiny? I don't know what you mean by destiny, but I do believe that things happen for a reason because it has happened so much in my life. Like, it's hard not to believe it, man. Things, literally not a single leaf moves without having a reason. That's just life right there. Enzo asks, how do you keep the editing game going without getting bored? Because composing at any kind gets boring by time. You're absolutely right, it does. You need to keep that flame going, girl or boy. But in my case, because I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I just don't feel like editing. So my answer to that is just don't do it if you don't feel like it. But then you end up not doing it forever and that creates an issue. So in that case, I would say, well, if it gets too out of hand, then at some point you're just gonna have to, like, it's kind of like homework. You don't want to do it or you don't want to start, but sometimes you just gotta push yourself a little bit, and then you know, with time you get back into those creative juices. And I don't know about anybody else watching this, but when I finally get out of that beginning funk when I have to start a project, which is honestly not that fun, like, I get so motivated and all I want to do is work on that project. Also, getting out of your comfort zone is really fun. Trying new things and just taking constant risks in the creative process keeps that flame up. Just saying. Dacus Rhymes from Donnie asks, hey Laura, what degree are you pursuing and what are your plans after you get your degree? Honestly, my college education is a freaking mess right now. So I got into business school because I thought I wanted to be a manager, but honestly, like, I took one class and I kind of hated it. And then I thought, well, I like films, therefore I should go to film school. I took a couple classes, I hated it. So then I thought, oh, I draw, therefore I should go to art school. I took an orientation, I didn't like it. Therefore I concluded, you know what, I'm just gonna go to general studies at some point and get a degree in that and just focus more on what I truly want to do, which is my personal brand, my videos, my art on the internet. And just college has slowly become secondary in my life. And I know that a lot of people think it should be primary, but I've gotten to a point in my life where I don't really let other people's judgments get in the way of what I want. So that's kind of the status of my college education. Also, I got really behind after the hurricane, so at this point it's just kind of like, I'm just going to college for the hell of it, man. And plans after my degree, I don't know, because at this point I don't even know when that's gonna happen or if it's gonna happen. But that's okay. That's the magic of living in the present moment versus worrying so much about a future that hasn't even arrived. Do you have any siblings and how old are they? I've never had blood siblings, but I've had multiple step siblings and they've always kind of been my age. But yeah, that's... Do you like jazz? I love jazz. I do. I like all kinds of music. Andre Lopez asks, how do you stay motivated? I actually have a whole video on this topic if you want to check it out. Yeah, like I said before, I just try and push myself out of my comfort zone, creatively speaking. That usually keeps me motivated, and also watching other people. I don't actually watch many filmmakers, simply because it just always leads to me comparing myself, and that's just self-destructive. Therefore, I watch people that do everything but film. And it really motivates me to just continue. It really, oh, and music videos. Music videos just empower my mind to do the impossible. I really want to keep this video under 30 minutes, but it seems like that's not gonna happen any second. Yeah. EMEs or MAs, shout out to you. Thank you for being a long-time fan. You're awesome, and I think I do remember you, but I'm not exactly sure because there's so many people. How a movies company, which is in your possession, will look like. You can also describe the company. So I guess he's asking, what would my production company look like? Honestly, I'm a bit of a minimalist, not because it's totally trendy right now, okay? But rather because I just don't like big things full of things. If I would have a production company, it would honestly consist of 5 or less people in a basement editing. I care more about being surrounded by people who share the same passion as I do, rather than having this big fancy corporate production company full of people who are just looking for a job. What is your favorite genre of music? Honestly, I like them all, even the really weird music you find on SoundCloud, but I've found myself really getting into just independent artists that aren't really that big. Like, there's some real good talent out there when it comes to music, and I love SoundCloud for that, because I mean, they're just so amazing. So yeah, if you're a SoundCloud artist, hit me up. I love listening to new, independent, fresh and different music rather than the same old. What are your biggest aspirations in life? Being Hispanic, sometimes I forget the meaning of certain words.
Aspiration.
A hope or ambition? Okay, I'm not dumb. I'm just Hispanic, and sometimes I forget, like, I confuse words and definitions. So I have to, like, you know, refresh my brain on things. One of my biggest goals, I guess, is to be recognized for, like, I guess my message to the world, which I'm still kind of figuring out what it is. I want to inspire people to just embrace their own originality, right? Because I see so many people trying to follow what everybody's doing and the trends, and I feel like that's not art. I mean, there is that whole quote about, like, a good artist steals other artists' things and makes it their own. That can apply for some people, but honestly, to me, art is just a combination of many different styles formed into a brand new one. I guess that's just been my own experience in the art community or in film community. But like I said, I'm still figuring that stuff out. But yeah, I want to be recognized for my creativity, my originality. I also want to have that freedom of picking up and going. I don't want to be narrowed down. I have this extreme desire to live a different life than everybody, and I know it may not seem like it right now, because right now I'm still at a point in my life where I'm still developing myself creatively, but at some point I really just want to live a life free of, like, I don't want to be tied down to something, you know what I'm saying? It's hard to explain. That's why I'm so inspired by the guy from Plantriotic, because he lives exactly that life. And I look at his life and it's like, that is it. That is it right there. That is what I want. And I may not have it right now, but that's fine, because like I said, I'm at that stage where I am working a lot and getting nothing in return, but that is part of it all. That is part of the whole entrepreneurial process, and I'm okay with that. I'm having fun. That's what matters. So the Mook1012 asks, will you ever go to another VidCon? So I went to VidCon in 2013, and it's one of the best experiences I've ever had in my life. California is beautiful, and I got to meet so many people that I saw in a computer screen for the longest time, and it was an absolute magical experience. And in fact, one of my biggest dreams is to be invited as a creator to VidCon. So I would love to go back, man. I don't know when, but I feel like it's gonna be soon. I went to New York the other day for the first time in 10 years, so I feel things happening. I feel the universe manifesting some things. So that's my answer to that. Pizza Slice asks, are you back in Puerto Rico? Will you go back? And where do you see yourself in 1 year? I already answered the year thing. But yes, I am back in Puerto Rico. I've been here since January. But like, I don't know if I've said this, but I'm working on another documentary which kind of answers this perfectly, like the whole experience after Hurricane Maria. So definitely stay tuned for that. I'm really excited about what's in the works. And then Mad Gamer asks, what are you studying in college, and what are you hoping to achieve for your channel in 2018? So I am currently studying general studies. Like I said, my college education is kind of secondary, so I'm not extremely focused on that. And what am I hoping to achieve with my channel? I mean, I would love to hit 20,000 subscribers this year. That would be awesome. But realistically speaking, the chances of that happening are not extremely high, but that's okay. I'm still gonna try. I don't know, I really want this year to be just another great year full of great achievements. I mean, 2017 was very interesting with the hurricane and just the switch in my channel and my new content. It was also like I was contacted by some companies and stuff, and like I said, I'm probably gonna be on TV, but I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about that yet. I don't know, but I just want to continue growing, and I really would like to receive more opportunities in 2018 and just get better at my craft, really. I'm not in a rush anymore to like get to stardom or to like become this huge YouTuber or anything. I'm just living in the present moment, enjoying myself, having fun, and just focusing on expanding myself creatively and I don't know, get a little bit outside that box, you know? I'm not so focused on technique, but rather how I use those techniques now. And in 2017, I was more focused in learning the technique. So those are all the questions for YouTube. I'm gonna go ahead and, I mean, those are not all the questions. I definitely did not answer all of them, and it's simply because I would love to answer all of them, but you know, I don't want this to be an extremely long video, so I'm cutting things down, and I might not even include all the questions I've answered for time purposes. Yeah, let's go ahead and check out Twitter. I don't know if I screenshotted these pictures. And if you haven't followed me on Twitter, my Twitter is that. I don't know how to say it in English, so just read it or click on the link in my description. Tej23 on Instagram asks, pretty much a question I already answered, but he said to shout him out, so shout out to you. Oh my gosh. I think I've lost all the questions. I did screenshot some.
I'm venting. It's beyond your comprehension. Not to mention about to begin.
By the way, shout out to all the kids in the whole March for Your Lives. Like, I'm so proud of my generation, man. Actually, I just thought of something for that question somebody asked me about hidden talent. I used to beatbox. I'm the mega mag daddy. I'm the mega. What? Well, I can't find any other questions on Twitter, so I'm just gonna search up the Book of Faces. Oh, I found one that I like. Rishi Narula asks, do you want to be a YouTuber or a normal student with a job? I kind of answered this, but not as specifically. I would love to be a YouTuber. In fact, I think I've always wanted to be one. And do I want to be a normal student with a job? Hell nah! I'm actually not. I have developed this small business on eBay, and that has allowed me to not have to get a regular desk job or food job like McDonald's or Subway or something like that, because I make that amount of money through eBay reselling random stuff, and like I love it. So if you're a student and you don't want to live the average student life, which is fine if you're living it and you like it, but if you don't want to, you don't have to. Like, search for ways to make money. The internet is so, like, there's so much opportunity for people my age to do things that are mostly passive income. And if you don't know what passive income is, it's basically making money without putting so much effort into things. So I definitely suggest things like selling on eBay. There's lots of jobs where you can like apply and you can be somebody's assistant over the internet and reply to emails for them. There's so many things, but I'm not really gonna get into it that much because this is not really a business video or anything. But I think that just pretty much wraps up my video. I don't know. I feel like maybe I should answer. Oh my god. How could I have missed this question? This is a question I've been getting for pretty much my entire YouTube career, and it's just that kind of question that I've just never been able to answer. But for the first time ever, have answered it.
Local and government authorities have responded to the outbreak.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you my official answer to this very long-awaited. Why are you so pretty? The average human on Earth consumes about 350 recreational signs of neurons capable of different demographics that point to all signs of knowledgeable genres, which when found consumed, one's physical appearance peaks once a human has developed fully into a foreign country. Full of Canadians. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why I am so pretty. Thank you for watching.